Alrighty then. Hello, I am Zoop from ZoopTEK, and we're going to play a little bit of our latest and greatest game, Forging Glory. We just released our closed beta number 3 release. That is my wife making funny noises in the background. I'm going to try to make a Alpha Strike build. I've never succeeded so far in making something that can kill a normal character in one hit. So I'm going to try to do that. Now granted, this character does not have a whole bunch of stuff on it. So this will be fun. I've never done streaming before, so if the quality's bad or something weird happens, not my fault. We'll figure it out as we go. So I guess I will explain things as we go, because this is a new game to probably everyone, except for our select few in the closed beta. So Forging Glory is a looter brawler. So essentially blend Mordau with Borderlands. Yeah. So we have these campaign maps, which are randomly generated, and your goal is to pick a team and conquer the map. And you get a bunch of loot along the way. So, for example, I've already been playing this one for a while. If I recall, I am playing for the Giant Goats, the red team. And then they're going to give me a pile of voxels, which is currency, and they're going to give me this modifier, which I can use to make my own nifty items, which I'm sure we'll get to later on. But we're just going to play a match. So, I'm going to go and choose any of these non-red nodes to attack. Since we got to conquer the whole thing, it doesn't matter that much right now. We can pretty much just choose our game mode. So I can do team deathmatch or base Blitz. Since we're all new here, we're going to start with team deathmatch. So I'm going to hit compete and join the match. While we wait here, I might as well mention that the game is in closed beta. If you'd like to join us, go to forgingglory.com. Also, if things explode hilariously, that's why. So, I've already built some characters here. This is my spear guy. This is my favorite guy, sword and board guy. I always love sword and board guys. And this is my sniper guy. I'm going to stick to the sword and board guy. This guy I've developed the most. So you'll see that just like Mordau, Chivalry, and such, first-person shooter style controls, you can do third-person with F9, but I prefer first-person. Other people prefer third-person. Normal WCD style controls. This flickering you're seeing is actually my armor. Yes, it is distracting. I totally agree. Maybe I'll switch it out for the stream. Everything in Forging Glory is physics-based, so that's why, like, when he went through me, my body kind of freaked out. That's completely normal. Swinging is a little bit different than Chivalry or Mordau, or Mountain Blade, if you played that. You don't flick your mouse to decide or move in the direction you want to swing. It's actually based off of this white line. And it's based on essentially where your cursor is relative to the enemy. So if I use this bad guy over here, oh, he's dead. Anyway, it's going to point, the arrow's always going to point towards the enemy your crosshair is near. So if I put my crosshair to the left side of the enemy, it's going to swing from left to right. See? So the enemy's right there, my crosshair's to the left side of him, so it's going to swing left to right. So there is no block button. It's all based off physics, so if you want to block a projectile, you just stick your shield in front of them. If you want to block a swing, you stick your sword in front of them. There is a little bit of auto-aim to assist you in these things, just like how there's auto-aim with swinging. But it's all physics-based, which is kind of neat. The top left, you see our scores right now. We're almost 1-1. This is team deathmatch, so we just need to outscore them. And I apologize since I am meleeing. I'm sure the shaky screen is a little overwhelming for a first time. That is kind of part of the course, especially once you learn, because everything's physics-based, turning your hips with the swing actually does more damage. I mean, I can just sit here and look at him and swing, but I can actually increase my damage slightly by facing him. Turning with the swing. What I just did there, oops, he didn't actually die from it though, is you can actually push people. So middle mouse button does a push, knocks them over, except I'm unsuccessfully pushing off the edge. They are climbing back on. They don't want to die. Yeah, off. Goodbye. And you actually get bonus points for doing cooler moves. So just going up to whacking someone a bunch of times, you will not get as much glory, it's called, that's our scoring system, as you would if you do something cool like knock them off, get a headshot, stuff like that. So the bots are so finicky. As you may have noticed, there's a nice variety of medieval-like weapons in Forging Glory. We have what I'm using right now in my left hand is a one-hand sword. Does a little bit less damage, swings a little faster. As you can see with this bad guy here, there are shields, which anything that touches the shield absorbs all damage. There's right now no way to break a shield. You just have to swing around it. So like I have these enemies with shields, and you can tell I'm having a hard time getting around them. So I try to circle them, or I can try to swing for their heads. Oh, I died. Shield guys can be really tough. But pushing enemies with shields does push them a little bit further. So if you can't get around the enemy's defenses, or they're just really good at blocking you, you can change it up and try to knock them back to confuse them. Got a good flanking position here. Except for this one guy I noticed. Kind of fun. Enemies do get sliced based off of how you hit them for a killing blow. So I sliced him in half, so he gets cut in half. See, I'm just gonna push him. Get off. Goodbye. He's barely hanging on. There, he died. I can flank these shield guys. I'm getting hit from behind. So the guy just poked me with a spear. Spears are right now the closest thing we have to a dagger. It's fast attack speed, long range for a melee weapon, but does very little damage. It's in fact the first melee weapon a player is given. Oh man, I just got shot back. How are we doing score-wise? Oh my god, we're behind. We're not doing so well. I'm doing too much talking, not enough maiming. Man, we haven't been able to kill these shield guys at all, have we? Something that we added in the recent update is the ability to sprint. You can tell my shield and sword go down when doing that. Cannot attack and sprint at the same time. You may have noticed the big, the particle effect of an X. It's because my sword, which actually you can see my sword, it has little red X's on them. It's because I have Calling Strike on my sword, which means that once an enemy reaches a certain amount of health, it's an instant kill. A certain percentage of health, that is. Oh, he just walked off. Yes, humans do that too all the time. See, I didn't. I'm just gonna try to push him off. Oh man, he's stuck against the wall. And apparently, the server popped, which is unfortunate. As I said, it is beta. We do get logs, which I'm not going to look up now, so I can see why it blew up. It's unfortunate that it decided to blow up. I wonder if someone on our Discord tried to join us. Nope. Well, I guess technically they wouldn't have been able to because it's not a public campaign. Well, it's a shame. Unfortunately, things sometimes blow up. Well, actually, based off of what's going on here, I would guess that there is some kind of back-end problem. I am not at home. I'm actually at my wife's apartment. So I don't have my normal wired setup here. So I don't know if it might be internet-related issues. Heck, maybe I'm not even streaming anymore. Nope, seems to be streaming. There I go. It's as if the website died momentarily there. That was unusual. Well, since we're here, we might as well look at our builds. So, these are our various avatars, and I can click on one to go edit one. And you get this gloriously slightly overwhelming screen, but it's actually not that bad. You can name your guy up here. This is your little paper doll, just like Diablo and such, where you can click on the various slots and change their body parts. So yeah, you're building your avatar. So this is not playing dress up like you do in most RPGs where you're just adding armor. You're actually replacing body parts because these are virtual gladiators. So you get to choose all their body parts and their weapons. We have a nice rundown of all the stats combined. And then on the right side here is everything that fits in that slot. Now you are actually seeing some bonus values that you guys would never see when you're playing. This is ensuring that the items given are balanced. Because in Fortune Glory, there's no level progression or anything in Fortune Glory. All items are ultimately balanced by a negative modifier. So, like this item here, for example, it gives me life steal, it gives me soul steal, which is like life steal on kill, and critical damage resistance. But in exchange, I lose knockdown resistance, meaning that I'm more likely for a two-hand sword or a crossbow to make me fall over, which means someone could hit me again and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So every single item has pros and cons. And the more powerful the pro, the more powerful the con. So you always have to choose what you want to have and what you want to sacrifice. So, for example, I typically sacrifice like hit points, and I also I don't know if it's a wise idea, but I frequently sacrifice knockdown. Two-hand swords specialize in knocking opponents down. If they swing for the feet, it will knock the opponent down. So with this character, if an enemy swung at my feet, it's very, very likely I would be knocked down, and I'd be knocked down for a long time. I'm also a huge fan of movement speed, so I try to just dodge everything, and then my shield will block most things. That's my strategy. I don't intend to change anything right now, I don't think. Let's see here. So actually, this is my production account. This is what's live to the world. But I actually have a copy of this account that I use for development, which is I played a lot more than this account. So actually, this character is very different than what I've been playing recently. You'll notice that the lower arms don't have any special stats on them. It's because these are dedicated to what are called traits. I don't know if I have any traits out. There's one. Traits are like your 1, 2, 3, 4 abilities. There's a trigger, so in this case, after moving for 8 seconds, and then it gives you some kind of bonus. So after moving for 8 seconds, 20% flanking damage multipliers applied for 1.6 seconds. So I'd have to. So if I just ran around for 8 seconds straight, then automatically I get extra flanking damage, meaning if I attack them from behind, I get plus 20% damage. But it only lasts 1.6 seconds. So this is not the most exciting trait in the world, but it has a very short cooldown. Which is why I've kept this guy here. I might sell it though. Let's see here. So what do I have here? I have critical damage. So critical damage is for getting headshots. You get bonus damage. I could spend all day to explain all these modifiers. Over time, I'm sure I will. I have lifesteal to keep me alive. I have hack resistance so that other enemies with swords do less damage to me. As I said, the lower arms are for traits, and I don't have any lower arms with traits on them right now. Body has some extra critical damage, and that really annoying flickery armor you guys are seeing. My sword right now has movement speed on it, and actually I have negative pierce resistance, meaning that projectile weapons are going to do bonus damage to me, which kind of sucks. And then I have a shield. With calling strike. So if you recall, I was talking about the red X particle effect. That's it. So this is saying that if I hit an enemy and they have 15% or less health, they just instant die. This is good against bosses, or if you have a low damage weapon like a spear or a pistol, you won't need to do full damage to kill someone. And plunge some movement speed. Alrighty, so I've talked about how you equip things. So our goal here is to successfully get through a match. I'm sorry that server blew up. I'll look at the bugs later, and get some more loot. We can also buy loot. So if we go to the Voxel Shop over here, we've been noticing this issue where the server seems to take a really long time to respond at times. And it seems to come in waves. It's very interesting. Like sometimes it's super fast, sometimes super slow. We got to figure out why. Anyway, this is Voxel Shop, and this is where you can buy stuff. So right now for sale, we have various body parts. Modifiers is used for making your own items. So I think I was saving this one for the multi-hit. Multi-hit means that for projectile weapons, it means your projectiles essentially pierce multiple targets, which is super awesome, especially with the pistol or the crossbow. Your projectiles would go through multiple targets. The reason why it's nice with pistols shoot really fast, so you can hit a whole bunch of targets, like a machine gun that's now going through multiple targets. It's great for like team deathmatch where there's a lot of enemies. Or with the crossbow, it's like a sniper rifle, so if you can get many enemies lined up, you can hit all of them at once with high damage. Unfortunately, it is extremely expensive, so the prices actually increase over time. So unlike shops and other games where it's like every day the shop recycles, in this you actually get to choose when you want to recycle the items. So you can just click replace for, and you just pay a really tiny price, $250 is like nothing. Or less if it's an item that's really weak or an item that just showed up. You can pay very little money to switch out what's in there. This also means that you can essentially, you like an item, but you don't have enough voxels. You don't need to worry about the shop, resetting itself and you losing your chance at the item. The price will slowly increase, but it'll give you as much time as you want to try to buy it. In this case, the price is absolutely absurd because it's multi-hit. Multi-hit is a very powerful modifier, as you can tell, because it's counterbalanced by negative 20 hit points. So it's like 1/5 of your hit points gets replaced. Anyway, so I'm going to shuffle this one because I'm never going to buy that. That is a vanilla sword. So it only costs 1 voxel to replace like a vanilla item. So you can sit here and shuffle. So usually like between matches, I'll shuffle a few times and see if I get anything nice. The problem with using the stores, it's completely random. So you really have no clue what you're going to get. You could get a really awesome item. You could get a really worthless item. This one is a bow that has no special stats, but it has a trait on it. When activate button is pressed, plus 10 calling strike. It's applied for 2.2 seconds. Very expensive. I wouldn't say it's the most useful one on the planet. Just because calling strike is unless you're like hyper focused on low health, like on the enemy having low health, in timing that seems like it would be difficult. Calling strike, I like to always have calling strike if I'm going to have it at all. So we could play this for a while. Actually, this is kind of an interesting one. So 15% damage multiplier at full health. So this means if I am even 1 hit point off from full health, I lose a damage buff. Since I do lifesteal builds, as we saw here, I have a bunch of this lifesteal, so every time I hit an enemy or kill an enemy, I get life. That usually keeps me top to off, which means that I could probably benefit a lot from damage at full health. In fact, I have another one here. What am I? So I have hack resistance here. So actually, we could do something fun with this. All right. So I was kind of doing like critical damage here. Critical, critical. And I know for streaming, the armor is really annoying because it flickers. We'll have to change it obviously later on, but for today, I'm thinking we could use this. So we're doing damage multiplier full health. We have the lifesteal to top me off, and then in the shop here, we got another body here with damage multiplier full health. So I'm going to buy this for 400. And then I'm going to equip that body. So now I have 30% bonus damage at full health. And I still have my lifesteal to keep me topped off. That's a good sacrifice since I wasn't really aiming for heads anyway. I just was getting critical items, so I figured I would stack them before. Alright, that sounds good. And we got rid of the annoying flickery, so you guys don't have to see that all time. So let's go play. Let's just try a different mode. We got to conquer all the nodes anyway. So let's play Base Blitz. So Base Blitz is a mode. It's just a short mode, 5 minutes long, and it's like Capture the Flag, except every player, every character is a flag. You get a small number of points for throwing yourself at the enemy base. It's as simple as that. You also get points for attacking. So I just need to run to the opposite side to get some points. Now, inevitably, bad guys are going to get in my way. And they're not going to want me to get in there. Cool. Now, I could just dodge him because this character is so fast and run in there. And so that gives me, my team, 100 points. Now, I also need to prevent them from doing the same thing to me. You'll notice already I'm killing things a lot faster than I was last match because that plus 30%. Now you may have noticed that I actually swung for the feet perfectly, knowing that his shield was in the way. The little horns means that they have extra damage at low health. So there's a visual effect for almost every modifier. That guy got sliced good. Look at that. Right down the middle. Now what I could do is strategically push this guy off the edge. Nope, he's not going to go off, apparently. We're doing a lot better this match than we were last match, huh? According to the top left, we're like 400 points ahead. Now, there's a whole bunch of enemies here. So we're having a little bit of a traffic jam problem, which is good for us. They're all getting focused on combat. Oh god, I got shot. So in the top right, which I can't point at with my cursor because I don't have one, shows the glory counts. So it tells you who hit who and what special modifiers, effects, all that stuff happen, and then how much glory you get. So essentially the score. Oh, he just fell right in. So you heard the announcer say overkill. On the top right says I hack overkilled Atlas for 50 glory. So glory is a combination of damage and how you killed him. And that guy's already dead. So doing, as I said, doing cool things like hitting him in the head, knocking him down, knocking him off, you get bonus glory beyond the damage you did. Alright, we're doing really well this time. Oh, the particle effects of my arms, that's the bonus damage at full health. Because I'm a sucker for fighting, I tend to go for the fight instead of going for the goal. Some people like to just make a super fast build. Well, I guess this character is super fast. But just rush it to just avoid the fighting. But I'm just an addict for fighting. So that was actually an example of me right there. They had two-hand swords, and one of them must have hit me low enough to trip me. But I just jumped right into their base. Oh man, that is a lot of guys. So right now it might be my goal to just hold them off so that they all rush in. Since I have all the speed, I can kind of run in and out. Oh, ow. That was, oh man, I'm totally surrounded. So I like lifesteal a lot. The downside is when you have... The only way to get health back is to attack, and if you're already low at health, it's very risky. But that's where the speed comes in, because I can just kind of dart in and out. In that situation, I was surrounded, and you've seen me won't go through my teammates, but I cannot go through an enemy. Ow. So what I'd like to do is, when I'm low at health, I run into the base. And I try to hold them up here because they all get defensive. Well, we won, but I like to fight near their base so that when I'm about to die, I jump into their base, get the points. And at the same time, I'm making them want to defend instead of rushing my base. So pretty good. Actually, for a 5-minute match, that's pretty good. Usually I get about 4,000, 5,000 glory in a 10-minute match. I mean, it depends how good you are. It is a scoring system, so you eventually learn how to get more glory. Like I've gotten as high as 9,000 once with a crossbowman. I was just long-range sniping and I stayed alive for a long time. You get a teeny bit more glory the longer you stay alive and the more kills you get in that life. So you are definitely incentivized to live, to get the best kill-death ratio as possible. No items earned. Now, it's probably because my inventory is full. But don't worry, in exchange you get more voxels instead. So, unfortunately, no items earned. So I should really clear out my inventory some. Other interesting things is this is actually new in closed beta round 3, is now we have these convenient quick play buttons, just like we have in play over here. I'll show you in a second, but we have a convenient quick play button here in play to get you going to the next match. Campaign results just shows you like a little preview of the territory was this, and now it's this. Details is fun. This is for all the stat number cruncher guys like me. You can see exactly how much glory each team had. The breakdown of... Now, this is actually a little misleading, is this is only glory that impacted you in some fashion. So this would be enemies attacking you and you attacking enemies. This is not the entire match. So since I was a melee guy, it's going to be heavily skewed to melee. Um, since I didn't play any range, so you can actually, this range here is almost entirely ranged attacks upon me. And this is the feed of all the glory throughout the match. So you can almost get a little textual replay of the match. And the base and multiplier here is just the breakdown of how your glory is calculated. So the multiplier is based off of you get more multiplier for killing enemies in ingenious ways. So like overkilling, you get some more multiplier. Blocking, you get a tiny amount. Being behind in a match, you get more. Longer you live, there's a whole bunch of factors that give you multiplier. Whereas the base is more or less damage. So you can see spectacular events of you knocking. My favorite thing to look up is knocking people off to their doom. Did I ever do that? Wow, this is so. It's also fun to see some crazy things people must have done. So this guy did a long range. Precise means he shot around a shield. He shot me in the back, and it was a shot on me. Oh, so here's an instance of brutal is actually new. Before you couldn't damage people when they were knocked down. But now you can. It was just too fun to ignore. It sucks to be on the receiving end. It's something we've debated for a long time. It sucks to be on the receiving end and someone knocks you down and they just start beating you on the ground, and you can't really do anything about it. But what we've done is we've greatly reduced how long knockdown time. It used to be you could if you built your character right, you could have knockdown times of 10, 20 seconds. It was absolutely ridiculous. But now we've greatly reduced it, so you're only knocked down a few seconds. And also we made it so you can't extend a knockdown. So if you're already knocked down and then someone tries to re-trip you, you can't have your knockdown time extended. So no matter what, you're going to be getting back up in a second. So what brutal is, you did damage to someone who's knocked down. Yeah, enough of that. Let's go play. So I can hit play going through here, and so jump me to the campaign, but just to talk about the new stuff. This quick play button didn't used to exist. Also, speaking of new things that didn't used to exist, this is telling you to submit your email and your Discord name, and you get some prize in exchange. The reason why is we really need to talk to people about the game. We need to get your feedback, and it helps to be able to correlate the Discord name with the player name. So the player name here is actually based off your Steam account. So it does not necessarily correlate to the Discord name. And so a player might tell us, oh, I ran into a bug on Discord. And then we can't figure out what their name on Steam. Or maybe a player will tell us a report of, this didn't work well, or I don't understand why I got 100 glory for this, or whatever. And it helps have the correlation. So this will help us with that. Also, this is all the quests. Quests are you have to do a task and you get an item in exchange. So they're all mastered quests right now. The nice thing about these master quests is if you do something a lot, like I do, I use the one-handed sword all the time. You can, as you just keep using your favorite weapon, you're just going to keep getting free versions of that weapon and more fancy versions. The colors are slightly representative of power or rarity. Alright, enough jabbering. Let's clear some items and then let's play another match. See, this is an example of sometimes it's really fast, sometimes it's really slow. It's very strange. We jumped to all those pages just fine. Alright, just so for the sake of expediency, we're going to get rid of some of our vanilla items. So I'm going to get rid of the bow. I'm going to get rid of where was the vanilla crossbow? Don't care. Oh, this is on the spear guy. Since I'm collecting all these items with max damage at full health, I think I'm just gonna ditch the long range damage. Typically you earn about 4 items max in a match, so as long as I sell 1 more item, that'll probably be good enough. Let's get rid of that body with the locational armor. Locational armor is actually pretty darn useful. Oh, who is it equipped by? It's equipped on my crossbowman. Now, crossbowman, since he's a sniper type guy anyway, I'm going to make him start stacking max damage full health. Alright, and then we're going to go sell that. Where was it? Alright, so I've freed up 4 slots so I can earn some items. The neat thing about earning items by match is it actually tries to skew towards what you seem to like. So it kind of analyzes your playstyle, analyzes how you earned glory, and it's going to give you items that are reflective of that. So, for example, if I have lifesteal on a sword, it's more likely to give me swords with lifesteal. And actually, the more items you earn, the more focused it gets on trying to give you items it thinks that you like. So if you only earn 1 item, it's going to be completely random. But if you earn 2 items, the second item is going to be skewed towards what it thinks you like, and so on and so forth. So you're really incentivized to, as soon as possible, start pushing your build in a direction that you like. Which, I mean, that's half the fun, right? But you're also further incentivized to earn a bunch of glory, earn a bunch of items, and in a single match, so you get items that fit what you like. Otherwise, you're reliant on random chance or going to the Voxel Smith to build an item, which that can take time, and it takes a whole heap of voxels to do so. So, as we sit here and wait for the page load, see how strange it is, how quick it is sometimes. Sometimes it's not fast. Very strange. Anyway, we'll at some point explore this, but you can click on white items and use those little gear guys to go build your own stuff, which is super awesome. So I'm going to try to make a Alpha Strike sword or crossbow, I think that's going to be my goal. Alpha Strike meaning I want to do a one-shot kill. But let's go play. We can try the team deathmatch, or we can have the choice team deathmatch. I can't reach these nodes right now, so looks like actually team, 3 teams and 1 base blitz. Sometimes it's nice to do base blitz or duel. Duel's also a 5-minute mode because it's just fast, and so if you're like me and right now I have the goal of just building a character, it's nice to do this 5-minute mode so you can play a quick match, earn a few items, make a incremental change to your character, jump right back into the next match. 10-minute matches obviously take longer. You earn more stuff, but get excited about building. All right. So we have even more damage full health, which maybe this time we won't lose this match. If you recall, we were about to lose last time before the server died. It's definitely helping. So you might notice I'm aiming for this guy's feet because I'm trying to get through past his shield. Usually head and feet shots work best against shield men. And then typically it's actually a lot easier for a shieldman to block a headshot, so like feet are actually really good things to aim at. Unfortunately, you're missing out the bonus damage if you hit him in the head, and also it can be a little hard to reach for feet. It's usually kind of at the extent of your range. Also, you're playing against human opponents. It's painfully obvious if you're trying to swing for their feet, and they might just back off. Sprint, sprint, sprint. Now, see, another viable tactic could be, say, movement speed, because my character's so fast, and flanking, because I could just go behind them. Like, I'm so fast. That was a pretty cool throw. Like, I'm so fast, I can get around them. How are we doing score-wise? We're doing much better. So this build's already doing much better than the previous crit damage build. With a sword, it's so chaotic in these team death matches. It's just really hard to get the critical damage with melee. It helps to have a two-hand sword just because you have range. Also, yeah, see, there's just so many guys here, and I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just going to run away. Backhack some guys here and get some my health up. In duels, it's 1 for 1. So if there's 3 people on one team, there's 3 people on another team. It's less chaotic than team deathmatch, where you get these mass numbers. Finally died there. So anyway, duel, it's a lot easier for you to get headshots just because you're not on the defensive all the time. Like, I was really relying on my shield absorbing all those swings. Unfortunately, my build here is just not very good at killing mass guys. Like, if I had multi-hit with a two-hand sword, I could probably kill, like, several of those guys at once. Or if I had a smarter friend than one of these bots. Where are you going? So you might be noticing those circle, white and yellow circle effects. Those are projectiles bouncing off my shield, actually. So, pistols are kind of like blasters from Star Wars. They will bounce off shields and weapons. So pistols are kind of like the newbie weapon. It's the starting weapon you get. They are very easy to use because we added them because people were very, very afraid of meleeing right away. Everyone plays Call of Duty and such, and everyone's so used to being far away from their opponents, and so you start playing Forging Glory, and you're like in their faces. With all this physics craziness, it's just very scary and overwhelming. So we added the pistol to get people used to the game. And the pistol being rapid fire, it shoots straight, unlike the bow and crossbow. It made it a lot easier for people to get used to the game. And then we give them the spear after that, which is a long-range melee weapon where it's just, you don't have to worry about aiming, you just click, and it just pokes. Sorry, I'm concentrating on not getting hit by these two-hand guys. Doing very well here. Wow, we are almost doubling their score. And now they're starting to counter. So over time, the enemy team will start, just like a human player would, they'll start picking equipment that counters yours. Like, they're starting to just pile on a bunch of crossbowmen because I can't hit them. They're too far away and they're high damage, so if 2 crossbow bolts hit me, I'm probably dead. So mass crossbowmen would probably work very well against me, presuming that they're good at hitting. Until I flank them, and they're in trouble. push actually go off? Oh, fine, I'll just kill you. Lucky I saw that guy out of the corner of my eye. Just push him off. There we go. You get a bunch of glory for knockoff. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun against bosses. So bosses frequently have a really strong damage resistance. You know, they'll stack on the hack and pierce resistance. So it's really hard to defeat them just straight up melee, unless you have like a whole team fighting them. But pushing, unless they have a bunch of push resistance, you can usually push a boss off. You have to lure them towards an edge, but you can do it. Multi-kill. Yeah, man, I'm just rocking it. Oh, man, I get shot. I'm gonna flank. Plus, I need some health, so. They're overwhelming. Oh man, they're all going after me. So the enemy is smart enough, they will figure out who the MVP of the enemy team is. Actually, I get a particle effect, which I'm not going to try to show you because I'm in the thick of things here. But I have a particle effect that you can barely see up there that actually points out the MVP on the enemy team, and there's one on their team probably. Anyway, so I stick out like a sore thumb because I'm doing really well. See, I went for the feet there, and I got him. We made the bots pretty smart at blocking, but not very smart at dodging. We've pretty much the ranged guys will try to dodge a little bit. You know, if they get attacked, they'll run away. But oh man, that was dumb to put my back towards the enemy base. Oh man, they're catching up. Look at the score. The score is huge. That's 12,000 is a lot. But also, they are within 1,000 points. We were like thousands of points ahead of them. So we're in the last 46 seconds, and they really want to win. Oh, I got a repel kill there, if you heard the announcer. Repel kill is from the repelling a pistol shot back at the shooter. That's also a high glory thing. It is a lot of fun when you fight a bunch of guys with pistols. Push him too. I'm out of energy. So in the lower right, you'll see my energy. And I pushed several guys there. But, wow, all that, I was doing really well, and we're only, I guess we're over 1,000 ahead now. So you can see my glory counting up the top right. Now, 11,000 glory, that's extremely high. That's like double what average is. Now, we have made changes to how glory is scored, particularly for meleeers, because it looked like ranged characters were getting way more glory than melee characters. So that number may be more inflated than it should be. We need to keep reassessing how scoring is done. So I earned 6 items. That's crazy. Now you might notice I am over capacity. It's because we always want to make sure that you get the items from quests. So if we look at the quests tab here, I finished one hand sword and shield. And then I got new quests down there. and I incremented my pistol. Getting repel shots actually counts towards your pistol mastery, which is kind of hilarious. Anyway, so I've completed these 2 quests, and it would suck if you completed a quest and you ran out of inventory space. So we just give it to you regardless, and so you get over max capacity. A little confusing, but we figured players would rather get the items than not. So let's take a look at them. Looks like we got some high value stuff here. So hack resistance, always good for a meleeer. Hit points, always good for a meleeer. Minus 75% push resistance. Probably actually not too bad. The bots do push, but they don't push that often. And my character is ridiculously fast, and I tend to dart in and out, so it'd be very hard for someone to push me. So actually, that's probably pretty good shield. But if I recall, my current shield has all my movement speed on it, so I'm not sure if I want to sacrifice it. So I'm not going to sell this right away. It has a trait here. Pawn, blocking an enemy's attack. Well, that's useful because I block things all the time. 45% knockdown resistance. Applied for 0.8 seconds. 7.5 seconds cooldown. Alright, well that's not a bad trait. Not the most proactive trait, but it's a nice defensive trait because I block stuff all the time. So I can just presume that this thing's getting triggered all the time. As you may recall, my Sword and Shield avatar has a lot of negative knockdown resistance, so this would make up for it. It has a fairly short cooldown time, 7.5 seconds. It definitely doesn't hurt. This one's not very complicated. It's one-hand sword, bunch of hit points, minus knockdown resistance. Not too excited about that one. Upon blocking enemy's attack, plus 25% block push resistance, applied for 3.4 seconds, 8.6 seconds cooldown. Again, this is kind of a nice passive defensive trait. It doesn't hurt. Also, it's not. I'm not gonna build around it. This is a vanilla head. Don't care about that. Sell that. Vanilla crossbow. Not gonna worry about that. Now, this is a shoulder that adds combo damage. So you may have noticed in the lower right corner when I'm fighting, there's a combo multiplier. The combo multiplier gives you bonus damage for hitting a bunch of enemies. It's kind of like a fighting game. And then it resets over time. So if you don't do any damage for a while, it resets. Combo multiplier is very important for the pistol and spear, those weapons with low damage and high attack speed. They essentially make up for the fact that they have terrible damage. So that if you stay alive a long time with pistol or spear, your damage is going to become equitable to the regular other weapons, crossbow, sword, two-hand sword, and so on and so forth. The other weapons do get combo, just they don't earn it as quickly. So this item here would be really, really good, particularly good with pistols and spears, which I don't really focus on. I really do quite enjoy my one-hand sword guy. Though on the flip side, it is quite fun to try to get combo with like a crossbow, because since crossbow already does 50 damage maximum, that's half of a character. If you do a bunch of, say, doing what we're doing now, bonus damage at full health, and then you throw in some combo multiplier and you just snipe from the background, you don't die, well, you can very quickly start really alpha striking people, which that's kind of a build I wanted to make, right? So maybe that's... Long story short, probably going to keep this. There's probably a way to use this. I kind of want to do an Alpha Strike sword and board, because I have not done that. A crossbow, I've gotten close. I would like to get an Alpha Strike sword build, whether it be two-hand or sword board, or dual wield. You can actually pretty easily Alpha Strike, because just 2 swords gets you to 80 damage. So you only just have to push it over. Downside is you don't have a lot of defense. You're kind of against human players, you're a magnet for projectiles because you're an easy target. So I'd like to do a sword board and Alpha Strike. And we're going to keep that. Anything else? Obviously we won, so transitioned over. Details, anything cool here? So as I said, I earned a lot of glory. And apparently I must have earned Well, this is also including range enemies hitting me. This also includes range enemies, or sorry, melee enemies hitting me. Just out of curiosity. See, like, previously, glory numbers for melee was much lower, and as you can tell, these are pretty high values, which is probably why I got in that one match 9 to 10,000 glory by myself. So, all right. So we have 3 more to go. How long have I been streaming? For about an hour. I'm gonna alt tab out here and go see if we had anyone ask any questions or anything. I really doubt it because this is a brand new stream that no one has ever seen before. Something that you can't see right now that I can see because I'm looking at the web browser is in our Discord. Your glorious moments automatically show up in the Discord, which is pretty darn cool. If you look at our Twitter, which is just ZoopTEK, you'll see that we frequently post GIFs of glorious events. So it's like doing what I'm doing now. It's like having a little GIF stream. So the game will automatically record 5 seconds of you doing something awesome, fighting, and has a little third-person camera trying to find a cool angle, watching you do something cool, like chopping enemies up or throwing them or shooting them from far away, stuff like that. It'll record a 5-second GIF and post on Discord, and then we occasionally post them on our Twitter. So if you did something really cool. So check out our Twitter, check out some GIFs, or go join us. Go to fortuneglory.com, give us your email, and as we add more people to our closed beta, you too can be honored to have your gifts shown on our Twitter, which would be fun. So it's been technically just under an hour, so I think I'm gonna play one more match, and then we'll call the stream good enough for our first one. I did not intend this stream to be such a tutorial, but brand new streamer, hopefully some brand new people watching the game. Figure it might be helpful to see it. Worst case scenario, this will end up on YouTube and someone will watch it in the distant future and learn all about the game. Alrighty, so we're gonna stick with our lifesteal max damage at full health guy. These narrowed bridges are so dangerous. In case you're wondering, these maps are randomly generated, and there's a variety of themes. So this is the Tech Night. This is the Tech Night environment. Oh man, I love those slices. Hey August, if you're watching this, there's Augustus. Are you attacking me? Speaking of names, you may notice that some of these guys have names. I am playing against bots right now, so we haven't put the bot icon on them yet. You'll see that some actually just say bot on them. We haven't put a bot icon on their name, so you guys know that you're fighting bots. So this is multiplayer. Everyone, people can join you, but you always have someone to fight by playing bots. Now, why do some bots have actual names? Some bots just are called bots, some are called fodder. Well, it's because we have all these different AIs going on. So these Roman named guys, these are actually avatars that are owned by the blue team. If you recall, in the campaign map, it's red versus blue. These are actually essentially the heroes of the blue team, the celebrities, the You know, like a sports team, the team that makes up blue team. And those guys actually, every time blue team plays a match, those same blue guys will show up. And they will start developing their own styles. Like, if I could read this guy's name, Flams. That's a silly name. Flams here is a spear guy, and he will always focus on a spear guy. And as he fights a player, he will start adapting his spear build to counter you. Gruesome death, got chopped in half. So the enemy team actually starts gearing themselves as a human would against the people they play against. And so, just like pretty much any game, you want to keep changing things up. So, like, for example, let's say I hit them, so only 3 resisted on that hit. But they'll start, like, resisting. Like, if I'm consistently kicking their rears, they'll start piling on hack resistance, for example, so it's harder for me to kill them. So then that's going to entice you to change your build. Either that forces you to start really maxing out your damage to overcome the resistance, or more realistically, you start switching to something with pierce damage, like a spear, or a bow or a crossbow. And they can be pretty lethal in their countering. Like, they will find holes in your abilities. Like, they'll notice if you have, like, negative hack resistance, meaning you get bonus damage to you being hit by a sword, they will just they'll start upping their hack damage. So they don't just pay attention to what you're good at, they pay attention to what you're bad at. Now, ultimately, everything is blockable, so, like, speaking of blocking, I need to do a better job. So everything is blockable. A block with your sword or your shield will absorb 100% of damage, so it's still very skill-based. Like, you can... Technically, someone could make a build with, you know, maxed out negative resistances, meaning that you get a bunch of bonus damage on someone hitting you. The enemy does. And if you're really good at blocking, unlike right there, you could survive. It would mean that if someone did get a hit on you, you'd probably be one-shotted, but you could survive if you're really good at blocking. So in situations like this, where this guy is really good at blocking, I like to... Well, he just died. I like to change up and just give him a good push. Go get him off balance. You only get a few pushes before you're out of energy, especially when you're in these brawls here, or you're just constantly swinging. You get your energy by just taking a moment and doing nothing. See, I'm already maxed out. You have to just not swing for just a few seconds, and you'll max out. Goodbye. I really need a modifier that helps my push. I love pushing. Oh, by the way, speaking of things, we talked about combo damage earlier. If you notice in the bottom right, I have plus 28%. So I'm getting plus 28% damage on all my hits right now, just because I've lived a while and I've done a bunch of damage. And you can tell it slowly ticks up. Now, if I just stop fighting, it's going to start ticking down. But I tend to just stay in the fight. I don't... Goodbye. Well, only 300 ahead, despite feeling like I'm doing better. See, whenever an enemy's got their back... Oh, man. Whenever an enemy has their back to a gap, I almost always push them. It's usually more efficient. Can I backhack? Nope. They noticed me. As I said, the bots are really good at blocking. Ooh, that was a nice kill streak there. You may have noticed I raised my shield and expecting a projectile to be shot at me. Man, you just don't want to die. See, that was a... Oh, except I missed. But that was a strategic push there. Like, I saw him trying to run by me, and I thought I could push him before he got away. But then I went for the down slash, but missed. Ow. I'm having to backpedal a bunch here. I need to not walk off the edge. Now the problem is I'm starting to circle them, but there's a whole bunch of ranged guys behind me. I don't want to get shot in the back. Almost walked off the edge there. Did my circle strafing. Come back here. Oh no! Did I get shot? Yep, I got shot. Long range pierce. Overkill. Overkill just means that they did a lot of damage when you only had a little bit of health. So it might have been a crossbow that got me. Oof. Yep. So that time I got shot in the back. And the game registered that, and they got bonus glory for shooting him in the back. What jerks. So we gotta go break this little shooting squad. Ow. See, you can tell that my negative pierce is not helping. Oh man, I should have been paying closer attention. We only won by 150-ish points. Pretty close. Anyway, I see there's Flamma, Claudius, Superbus. Oh, I didn't clear out my inventory, so... As I said, if you don't have any inventory space, you just get voxels instead, which doesn't hurt, because we're going to do some voxel smithing, but I don't think it's going to happen tonight. Let's see here. What was there anything cool? Any particularly high glory? 99, just killing Flamma. Probably just had, I don't know, killing Sioux fodder. That wasn't too exciting. This guy apparently sniped me. There you go, 135. Surprisingly, no special adjectives. Oh, it probably is because I was on a long kill streak. Very high multiplier. And pretty good damage. This is not straight up damage. It's slightly modified of damage, but either way, I had a really solid hit. So I probably had high combo, or I had all my damage modifiers going, and I probably was alive for a long time. You can tell several of these modifiers were very high previously. 119. Wow. You have to realize previously these modifiers were like in the teens most of the time, so this feels very high to me. 118. Man, getting all these very high glory with no adjectives. Usually you have to stack on the adjectives to get the high glory. This is just a sign that we need to continue tweaking glory. We were countering that ranged weapons were getting more glory than melee, and we probably overdid it. This is the time when those pile of ranges shot me. Several times, apparently. But not enough to win the match. I mean, that would have gotten them right there. Those 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. 100, 2, 3, 4.5. 450, a little bit more. That got them, almost 500 points. Caught up. Alrighty. Well, that was good fun. We didn't get to do any building of items yet, but that's okay. We earned a pile of voxels. We earned some items. We started pushing the build towards damage at full health. Of course, here we go again. Randomly, a page just doesn't want to load. But we started pushing the build towards damage full health. I have my lifesteal already in there. So now we just need to probably max out the damage at full health. There we go. So we got the 30. I think it caps at, I want to say 50. So we need to get 20 more %. And then we're going to have to find another way to damage. Because this is 40 plus 30%. So we're going to have to find several damage sources. As I said, critical damage, it's just too chaotic. With a one-hand sword, it's too short. I can't understand how fast my character is. Crazy fast. It's nearly impossible for me to aim for heads. With a two-hand sword, it'd probably be a lot easier. So critical damage is not going to be the way to make up for it. So maybe flanking. We talked about flanking earlier. That might be a good way to get some more damage in there. And plus flanking, I think, is a higher max. Or combo damage. Combo damage is super fun. I live a pretty long time. And it just feels so good to have that high kill death ratio. So we'll try that. Perhaps next time I stream. The goal here is to stream pretty frequently. Just because, hey, why not? We're supposed to be playing every day and learning about the game from players and tweaking things. So I might as well stream it. So that'd be fun. Alright. I'm going to call it quits. So you all have a good night.